everybody, welcome to another episode of Go the Extra Mile with PDA. I am Payal Gupta and the director of Payals Dance Academy. Today we're going to do shimmy layering, so come along.
Let's begin with the basic posture. We're going to start with the shimmy layering of the chest first. So once you're comfortable with the chest shimmy, we can then begin the layering. I'm starting here with the hip bumps, going right and left, staying within the frame. And then with the pelvis lift and drop. Try and maintain a very consistent shimmy with the chest. Initially, you may notice that the hips may want to also shimmy along with the chest. But if that happens, you may want to stop and start over. Once you're comfortable with the side to side and up down movement, you can make a box like you see here, with the pelvis going up, hip going right, pelvis down, and hip going left, and then reverse that sequence. Once you're comfortable with the box, you can connect the dots to make a pelvic circle. And I'm adding another layer just by shifting the weight from one foot to the other foot, keeping my hip circle consistent along with the chest shimmy. And now we're working with some Maya and Taksim. And if your arms get tired, you can place them on your hip like so. But just make sure that you're not shaking your arms uncontrollably and making sure that the movement is actually coming from the shoulders and not from your arms. And now I'm adding an undulation and a camel with Egyptian walk towards the front and towards the back. Just follow along. Try not to get stressed about perfecting every layer for the moment. And I'm just repeating the various layers that I broke down in different sequences. Once you've practiced these layers enough, you can always play with the speed, the level, various arm positions, and maybe some traveling too. And now I'm starting to layer the chest shimmy with the chest box and therefore the chest circle. Now let's begin with the hip shimmy, making sure that you do the movement with your knees bent and not straight. I've started with the hip shimmy, going side to side with the hip slide. And now make an undulation. So you also involve the pelvis to go up and down and front and back with the hip. So that's an undulation of the hip with the hip shimmy. This might just be a little bit tricky, but keep practicing. Moving on to hip figure of 8 and then a chest box, all on top of the hip shimmy. And now I'm going to add some traveling. The footwork that you see me do here is the cross open footwork. And make sure you keep your body weight in the center and just step out on the toes. And feel free to use whatever arms you like you see me do here. Continuing with the hip shimmy, and this time I'm adding an exterior hip circle. The tricky part here is on the back When you push your hips back, it's just a little tricky to keep the hip shimmy consistent, but keep trying. And moving on to the Taksim, which is the reverse of the Maya. Try and keep it slow because this movement can get out of control very easily. Even when you change level, try not to straighten your knees, otherwise it can turn into a knee shimmy. And I'm doing a sharp chest movement towards the diagonal now. And there you go. That was chest shimmy and hip shimmy layering for you guys. Thank you for following.